So, Ria, I'm sure you know that that soundtrack was sung by Suniti Chauhan for you.
Oh,
Yeah, that was Suniti Chauhan, our very own Suniti Chauhan.
I'm a big fan and
Pride of India.
yes. Thank you so much. It's a
Change the mic.
thank you. It's a pleasure.
Chalo.
Hi. Oh wow, I'm loud.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Can we have the vehicles off the stage, please? Okay, let's move to launch two. Let me talk a little bit about the brand personality of the second brand, XEV. Now, this brand is very different from B. XEV as a brand is suave. It's all about effortless confidence. It's about exuding effortless confidence. It commands respect and attention with a very poised presence. It's a brand that's innovative, which seamlessly blends technology with elegance. It's about premium and sophistication. It's about every detail which is crafted to pamper and delight the senses. So can we please present the XEV logo?
Wow. Wow, Vijay, that's amazing. Like you saw, the B6C is so much like Ria. Bold, strong, willing to take on challenges. When we were designing the EV9E, it was a completely different brief for a completely different customer profile. So if you see this story, it's about power, about poise, about control, about sophistication. It's about refinement of those smallest details that Vijay spoke about, the XEV brand. And again, we'll show you a fly-through of the XEV 90. All the way onto the roof and then into the back of the car in one single unbroken line. It's truly beautiful. Again, our SUV heritage in the large wheels, the amazing ground clearance that Velu-san will take you through, and the approach and departure angles. And finally, for that unmissable on-road presence, the shoulders. That for us really defines the XEV 9E. Again, if I talk about now the surfacing, you saw in the 6C that it's quite sort of geometric, very different, very bold. Here, it's about sophistication, it's about refinement. Every surface touched by hand by our global design teams to really make sure the way the light and shadow dances off the surfaces makes the XEV9E a truly beautiful, beautiful vehicle that you fall in love with again on first sight. And finally, for the exterior, a lovely new glowing Unlimit logo. These details on the grille, of course it's not a grille for cooling the radiator, but it still signifies the face of the car. The jewel-like headlamps, again worked with so much love. The detail around the lower part of the car, which again hits at our in-glow electric origin architecture makes the XCV90 a real pleasure for the eyes. And finally, of course, it caps off with that end-to-end tail lamp. The interiors Vijay just mentioned is all about luxury. It's all about technology. It's all about materials, finishes. We've chosen the highest grade of these materials to create a space in the automotive world which is unrivaled and unmatched. The seating, the leg room, the headroom, the beautiful Mars roof or the glass roof makes the interior of the XCV a stunning place to be. I mean, you wouldn't want to actually step out, but that you have to do when you reach your destination, of course. So without further ado, I think we can show you. Vijay, would you like to come back or should I just say it?
I just wanted to very quickly say that they saw the first part of the love story.
Yeah.
There is the of the next protagonist with the love story with the XCV9E. But I just also want you to keep in mind that you've seen one love story, you will see the second one now, and then we'll reveal the product for you. But then there is some continuity for which you watch the space in the future. Let's play the film.
Cool.
वैसा ही डिजाइन देखने को मिलता है, काफी कॉम्पैक्ट है। सिंगल बैटरी मॉडल को देखोगे, जो हैंडल बार है ना, पूरा खाली है, इतना मिनिमलिस्टिक
तुझको जो मैं हो जाऊं पागल पागल तू चले जहां जहां पर दिल मेरा छुटे वहां पर मुझसे ही मुझे चुराने XCV9E, Mahindra Electric Origin SUV.
ओला इलेक्ट्रिक है।
My dreams, I see us always together. One look and I'm falling for you like crazy, crazy. When you move, my heart goes racing. Oh, the dream that I was chasing, you and I will be always together. Ah, boom, boom. Every heartbeat is only for you. Every breath, every moment's with you. My heart goes boom, boom. Unlimited love. My heart goes boom. XCV9E, Mahindra Electric Origin SUV.
Hey Rahul, welcome. Welcome Rahul. Mic for you.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure to have you with us here.
Pleasure is all mine.
So Rahul, a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
So tell us a little bit about what surprised you the most when you drove the XCD9E.
The instant torque. It's you put your foot on the pedal and it's like the car can read your mind. You know, there's no hesitation, there's no delay. It's just pure, effortless power. And I would also say that the 9E is really more than a car. It's an experience, right? It's luxurious, but it's unpretentious. It's powerful, but it's very serene. This feels like a car that understands not just the road, but it understands you.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Pleasure, yeah.
And what was the momentous occasion for you on the sets of the shoot? Tell us a little bit about the inside story.
The shoot was great fun. We had an amazing time. But the director and the photographer, they wanted a very brooding, intense look. But every time I was in the car, it was so exciting that I couldn't stop grinning. So I think that was a source of great frustration as well as amusement for the whole team.
Yeah, we could see that on your smile, and we can see that right now too. So thank you so much for being here with us.
My pleasure.
Maybe take a photo opportunity with
Of
you.
course. Thank you for having me.
Please. Let's do to the red car. Your car, correct. Wherever you're comfortable. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you. Please do join us, please. Can we have the vehicles off the stage, please? And Velu, over to you. Can you get the mic? Wow! I told you, the twins. The slides are. We talked about electric origin. And here is something that very interesting to see. The classical mechanic is settled in 1687, and therefore we had aeroplanes and cars and flying everywhere. But it took about roughly 200 years more. Yes. So these electric origin vehicles that we have designed,
is really based on electric origin principles, which we will explain to you. But before that, I would like to set a context. The context is that we are comparing with the luxury brands of roughly about 50 to 70 lakhs. If you were to buy it in UK, RST, ex-showroom, VAT included. And we are not comparing two, but we are comparing four for two. And let's see whether these two wins the four. That's a game for next 40 minutes. To take the game forward, we have an Inglo platform derived out of electric origin. And I will explain what this electric origin is all about. It's about 1687 when Isaac Newton released his classical mechanics. He settled everything for classical mechanics. And you had automobiles, and you had aeroplanes, you had ships and everything. But it took about James Clerk Maxwell, who came in 1885 and settled the theory for electromagnetism. It took some time because you don't see the electricity. So therefore, to take the origin of electric is very difficult, and that's why you see certain delay in electric vehicles into the market. But nevertheless, we follow three principles from the shoulders of these giants that you see in the picture. Number one, Voltaire told us, never ever reduce a single cell. Add as much as possible more cells into your vehicle so you can have more range. That's about energy or the battery capacity. You have to use available every millimeter of the space to use it to pack it with the cell, not with anything else. That's the rule number one. Efficiency. We talk about electric vehicles, but at the full charge, if it is 400 volt, is it 400 volt at 50% of the charge? Is it 400 volt at 25% of the charge? That's a question. Because what determines the efficiency in electric vehicle is the voltage. Number one thing is the voltage. We maintain in our electric origin vehicles constant voltage levels across the SOCs of the battery pack. That's the number two. Safety. Whether it is water, whether it is fire, you put the battery on the fire, you put the battery on the water, you drop the battery from 10 meters, you take a truck and run the battery over it. It has to be safe, because we don't want such a high power electric system to do anything else other than powering the vehicle. That's the most important thing. In our electric origin, that's what you are going to see today and tomorrow. That's the beauty that Inglo, that's in front of you. When we put a flat 100% used flat floor, you get 79 kilowatt hour and a safe battery pack with LFP cells. You would immediately notice it. The electric motor is in the rear and there is nothing in the front. We used it for the front. In the subsequent slides, you will see what benefits it gives. But one thing you will notice it, in the event of a frontal crash, there's nothing except the front to go and crash with the battery pack. The motor is in the rear. That's rule number 4 in electric origin vehicles. iLink is the suspension system that we brought it. It's a patented technology from MRV. Likewise, you have a 5-link in the rear. That is again a patented technology. So you have a front iLink and you have a rear 5-link. That sets the ride forever and setting the standards in ride and handling. The platform allows you to do magical. Inglo is all about magical also. You have seen 2 different vehicles. One vehicle is, Pradap San created it, I already told you, 4, 9, 4, 7, 8, 9 millimeters. It's very easy to remember. And another vehicle is 4371. It's a smaller one of the spectrum and a bigger one of the spectrum. And you see beautifully what Pradap did is, only in the front and the rear he has changed the stuff. And over the roof, silver, he has aligned it. But there is nothing, no change in the Inglo platform at all. So both 6E and 9E comes from same Inglo platform. This is the parental platform. This platform brings the core Mahindra DNA. When it comes to battery electric vehicles, you do not only care for the safety of the passengers, but you do care for equally for the battery pack. That's the most important thing. What you need to give is the absolute ground clearance for the battery in the middle of the battery. By giving a ground clearance closer to the tire, it doesn't make any difference because the tire anyway goes over the obstacle. But you need to give in the middle of the battery pack. You will see, compared to the luxury 4 brands, where we stand, whether it's XEV9E or the 6E, stand out of the world. Sets the new Everest standards for this battery ground clearance. The second is the customer has to see the road in India. So we say it is a hatch point, the driver hatch point, and also it's applicable for the co-driver. You see the dimensions and you yourself immediately we realize that both the 9E and 6E set new standards in hatch point for the driver visibility. Once we settled about the driver visibility, next we are in space. The front row driver space is the most important thing. As you see it here, the XEV E9 has 1,617 liters and the 6E has 1,522 liters. To its nearest comparison, luxury 4 is way ahead. Likewise, the luxury 1, 2, 3, you can compare, 1,617 is way ahead for the 9E. I can compare the headroom and legroom. It's incidental, as you see, they are very similar numbers. But one thing I would like to point out about the shoulder room in India, it is so important. And you can see we set a new benchmark on the shoulder rooms for both 9E and 6E with 1,522 millimeters in 9E and 1,436 millimeters in 6E. Front space. I told you about the electric origin principles, that once we have moved the motor to the rear, we have beautifully carved out a space for whatever you want to keep it, about 150 liters of the front volume for 9E and 45 liters for 6E. In case of 6E, the length dimensions, the competition does not have a frank, but of course 115 is by far the new benchmark in this industry. I am not comparing the boot volume. Of course, you will see the boot volume sets a new benchmark. These measurements of the boot volume is according to the VD ISO standard, which means up to the seat height. If I were to measure to the roof height, you will have further volume. But if we set measuring up to the seat height itself, it sets a new benchmark. The rest, the customers will set the new benchmark for us. We talked about pace. What driving dynamics? Each vehicle have their own characteristics, but what are the 4 very important parameters for any customers to get the car? Is the ease of driving the car, of course the ride comfort, the handling comfort, and the fun to drive, what we call as a performance. You take a 180 km per hour or a 200 km per hour and you take a turn in a high-speed test track or in a curve, you take a turn, or hill stations you drive. We commissioned IDIADA, an independent agency, and we got all these 4 luxury brands and we asked them to independently evaluate and get us the rating, and that's where you stand. 7.75 for both 9E and 6E either equivalent to one of the luxury brand 2 or beating them luxury brand 4 and 1. It sets a new standard. This shows that if you derive the product from the single platform, how it benefits us to the products. So it is the benefit of Inglo platform that you see it. Once we have certain elements settled for the vehicle dynamics, then you are looking for the ride quality. The ride quality is very simple. A lot of people define it, the ride quality, very differently, and I have one simple measure for you. You define the acceleration in the forward direction when you press accelerator and brake it, but the road surface also is accelerating the vehicle up and down. And when it is up and down, it can be 0.3 G to 0.8 G. What you see here is the blue color. It's going up to 0.8 G on the last corner of the curve. It can go, such is the road construction that we have it. You can also have a quiet roads. But what you see is the red color is the vibration levels that a driver or a co-driver or the rear seat is experiencing. You can see it, it's very well isolated. The car is very well isolated. That's the beauty of the intelligence semi-active suspension system that comes in Inglo platform that goes in 9E and 6E. It has been tuned to multi-mode. So you have a suspension mode for all the drive modes of the vehicle, the powertrain modes of the vehicle. And it reacts in 15 milliseconds. So you measure the steering angle, you measure the acceleration, you measure the brake, and you measure the movement of the suspension. All of these inputs go to the controller. The controller reacts in 15 milliseconds. The moment you go over the speed breaker, by the time you move another 30 millimeter of the speed breaker, the damper is reacting. That's as quick as it. Tomorrow when you drive it, you will feel it. That's how we are able to bring in such a ride quality in spite of 0.8 G going over on the surfaces. The rating, obviously, you see there. Once you settle the ride, the next thing that you are looking for in the cars is how quiet is the cabin. And it took a lot of effort for us to get a quieter cabin in electric vehicles because you know the tire noises are extremely high. The tire noise is the one that is penetrating into the cabin as the electric motor is not making any more noise. It took us a lot of effort for us to get up to 120 to retain this above 90%. The AI quality, that's the articulation index. I have many times mentioned about the articulation index, that if I speak, if my wife is able to hear exactly what I'm speaking, that's 100%. If she loses me 10%, it's 90%. What we set the Everest standard here, Unlimited India, is 95%. It sets a new benchmark, and that curve comes as linearly as possible until 110, 115 kilometers per hour. As you ride this car, you will believe you need certain other elements in this car to hear the music, to love, to many things that we will set in. But right now you see it, it's absolutely a quiet car that you will ride on. As you drive the car, now you expect, okay, you have ride, you have NVH. What about the turning circle? Can I take this car into the city and then say, can I turn this car in the smallest possible turning circle radius with the smallest effort? Here we brought the technology called variable gear geometry into the steering system. You have heard about variable geometry turbochargers for the engines, but our engineers thought about, why don't you bring that into the steering system? Because after all, you are accelerating it and you are performing the vehicle. After all, you are turning the steering wheel, put the variable gear geometry there, and that's what we did. There you see the Inglo is just breaking the trade-off line. We are not anymore moving between this lock-to-lock steering angle versus the turning circle radiuses. We set new benchmark, and we get such a large vehicle, we get 10 meters turning circle radius with incredibly lowest steering effort. Brake. This is the most important thing. Before I go to acceleration, I want to tell you something about the brake. In an electric vehicle, it is just opposite of the ICE vehicle. In an ICE vehicle, you get the max torque at 1600 RPM. In electrical vehicle, it's 10 RPM, you are at boom. That's what Rahul said and Ria said, right? At 2-3 RPM, you are at the max torque. You need a powerful brake. We throw away all the ICE engines braking system. We brought the new braking system. In the ICE vehicles, you have about 450 milliseconds to brake. And he said, we make it off, 200 milliseconds. It acts. And we used this braking system to the most advantage to deliver the customer to the range. This braking system is not braking by the brake system, but it allows the e-motor to brake and regenerate the energy. And the last bit, the braking motor will come into picture. Actually, the braking motor, the braking system is doing a very smart job. It's asking the electric motor to brake it because you accelerated it. And now the last moment when you have done your job, I will come and step in. And that's what these two guys are doing. And we needed a different system to interact with the motor. And that's how this powerful, intelligent braking system comes into picture. That's why we say it's an electric origin. Once we settled all these brake, steering, suspension, all of them, then we thought about the customers. Do we do something for them? We know about their health, the UV radiations. The UV radiations are split into three: UVA, UVB, and UVC. The UVA is a long wavelength and it just penetrates the atmosphere. It doesn't listen to the ozone layer. And it comes and touches your skin and you feel bad. And we said, no, we cannot allow that to customers. And we put a laminated glass. You usually have it for the windshield. And we put it for the glass, and we put it for the roof, and not UVA rays can penetrate into 6E and 9E. Stop it before. You cannot get into the cabin. And we filter it to 99.5%. It gives you a comfort, and additionally it gives you range, because in the next slide you will see I'm able to cool the vehicle so fast, 40 minutes faster than the other vehicles, because the UV rays are cut off by the windshield, the glasses and the roof. Also, you have an excellent cooling system that is throwing about 535 meters per hour air. And we have measured it in the benchmark vehicles, and I really didn't believe it when I saw this from the best benchmark vehicles. There must be something wrong. Then I commissioned an agency, independent agency. I asked them, look, there's a 40 minutes difference. I took the vehicles to Rajasthan, I put these vehicles in the sun, and I'm seeing this. They told me one story. Look, those benchmarks are operating in a different terrain. They are not experiencing 40 degrees and 60 degrees. And therefore, their systems are not designed for handling these temperatures. You have designed it from the beginning because you have a lineage of handling minus 10 degrees to plus 60 degrees. And therefore, our systems guarantee you that it cools extremely fast from 40 degrees to 24 degrees about 40 minutes earlier than the competition. That's what you see it. We also have installed 2.5, the PM sensor 2.5 in the air induction system. When you suck the air, we care for you. We don't want the nanoparticles to go into your lungs. We have installed what is called as VR LED. The VR LED is looking for those particles, sending the VR rays, visible rays, and kill them. Whether it is odor, whether it is microbes, whether it is any other small microorganisms, we kill them and we make it purified, smart air purifier that we have installed in the air filter system. We have also installed activated carbon filter that again filters. So these two act in combination to give the best air quality. We also indicate in our dashboard the air quality indication. Using this PM sensor, you will see it. What is outside and what is inside, you will see it. Once we settle for all of this, the most important thing, closer to the heart of Mahindra's engineering, every vehicle that we launch, we say 5-star. And we don't compromise. Now, we don't compromise for adults, we don't compromise for children. In both cases, we achieve 5-star rating. This vehicle is yet to be homologated, but we know from our internal results, we will achieve these results. I have explained multiple times about the ring structure and how the energy is taken, and you all know it, and you will educate me now. But one thing I would like to point out, that it has a ELR, emergency locking retractor. It's not a regulation, but we bring it for all the seats. We also bring it an airbag that gives the 7 airbags story. So once we settle all of this, then let's go into battery. Battery is one of the questions always asked by everybody. There are so many questions about battery. We will unveil and peel off all these questions and try to give the answers to you as best as possible. But to answer, we needed very important 4 innovations in this to be done. Cell-to-pack technology is the most important thing that allows me to put maximum number of cells in a given areas. You don't have an intermediate module, you just put the cell into the pack. That's called compact clean module. Together gives me the ability to get 79 kilowatt hour in LFP cells. In this space, it is not easy to get 79 kilowatt hour in LFP. It's only possible in NMC. But we did it, and that's why we call it as advanced LFP plate cells with the cell-to-pack technology. We introduced a bottom transverse cooling that gives me to put this battery pack into Rajasthan and run forever, and nothing happens to the battery. And I don't derate the engine or the vehicle performance at all. We also take a nail and pierce through the battery and see what happens to the battery cell. And you will see it tomorrow, nothing happens to it. And you will also see it tomorrow, what happens to the competition. This is the 4 patents out of the 35 patents that's very close to my heart. Next is the range that you always would like to hear. The certified range is what? 1st April 2024 onwards. Let me back up and say 31st March 2024, we are allowed to use phase 1 as per ARI. And ARI redeclared, said you have to use phase 1 and phase 2 of the vehicles being certified from 1st April 2024 onwards. And therefore, the certified numbers stand at 682 and 653, 656 for 79 kilowatt hour vehicles. We also tested for WLTP for European comparison. That's the number 550 and 533 number that stands very close by bigger vehicle and smaller vehicle. But your question is, what happens in the real world? We took a 6 months journey to figure it out what's happening in the real world, and this is what we did. We traveled across north to south, east to west, and tested in each city for 2 weeks, roughly about 21 cities that you see, and our calibration engineers did the tweaking, learning from the peak traffic conditions. One thing that we learned is, it is not the number of kilometers that you drive, it is the number of hours that you drive the office to home or home to office. So this 500 kilometers range is on an average level. We have seen it in a 79 kilowatt hour battery pack, and it says that you charge only once in 7 days. Okay, Agul asked me, okay, you are saying once in a 7 days, but do I need to charge for 24 hours or 20 hours or how many hours? It is a 79 kilowatt hour. We said, Ragul, you don't require to take hours. You have to do it only in minutes. So he was standing and watching, and we are going to say tomorrow, In 20 minutes, you can charge 79 kilowatt hour. This is the first time from 20% to 80%, you charge in 20 minutes. Full stop, no questions asked. You can see it. It's not magic. Somebody were to ask the questions. We put out how we charge it. The battery pack has 128 cells and it has 200 ampere to be pumped in. And we pump at 2C. If I pump at 200 ampere, and it's called 1C. If I pump at 400 ampere, it's called 2C. I pump it at 400 ampere for 6 minutes and pump the battery. And you need a transverse cooling, you need an LFP pack, you need an electric origin technology. And that's exactly is helping me here to get 20 minutes for 20% to 80%. And Rahul says, once in 7 days, 500 kilometers range, only 20 minutes I have to spend with my vehicle. That's it. On the way, we wanted to validate the charge points of 1600 different make. Also the charge events, 16,260 to validate how our vehicle interfaces with the charger. That's the most important thing. This is the most important thing for our customers. And we have validated and adopted our BMS and OCDC chargers. Next question comes. What happens to the high voltage safety? And what happens to water immersions? What happens to thermal and what happens to immersions? An extensive test that has been done, and you might have already seen in the labs. So let me show one of the examples of how these tests bring robustness. Before that, I would like to add one point. We have tested the battery pack in the lab for 14,577 hours as we speak now. And that's charging, discharging, high voltage, all the steps that you see. And the second thing is we fitted this battery pack and run 55 lakh kilometers within India. To put it in perspective, it's roughly about 5.5 million. But put it in perspective, the Earth circumference is 40,075 kilometers, Earth circumference in the equator, and you have to circum that Earth 137 times to reach 55 lakh kilometers. And there is a uniqueness of about 137, you can Google it. It's called nature's constant. When you reach 1 by 137, it says about, you learn about atoms and matters, and you learn about nature. Once we learn about the nature, we say we have something understanding of electric origin. So let me tell something further into this. In the side crash, if my vehicle goes and hits a pole, in the side crash, the regulation says, will you please meet 10 ton? I said, no, I want to meet 20 ton. 200 kilonewtons, and you crush the battery pack. Nothing should happen to the battery pack. No leak, no thermal fire, no thermal propagation. Nothing should happen. We have done it multiple times, this test. That gives you sight. People said, can I park the vehicle in water? 200 millimeters, 300 millimeters, 400 millimeters, 500 millimeters, forget. Put the battery in the water and see what happens. And you can ask me, do you put the empty better? No. Do you put 50% charged better? No. We put 100% charged battery and we put it into the water and keep it for 30 minutes. Water house electricity, all of you know. And if there is a small gap in the battery pack, the water can enter and contact the cell and short circuit it and explode. This is what happens with the water. That's why it's very sensitive with the water. We have completely sealed in our manufacturing facility, battery plant manufacturing facility, no water can enter. Water cannot see my cells, period, full stop. what you get next is vibrations. You saw 0.8 G loads that were coming in the tire, vertical vibrations. You have 128 cells, you have positive and negative terminals 2 times, and you are shouldering with the wires, and you are connecting them. In the vibrations, if this shouldering gives away, what happens? The vehicle does not drive, right? We have to test it. So we set up to 8G, we are testing it in the lab that you have seen it. Also, in the event of a frontal crash or a side crash, you will experience anything between 30G. And then we said if we take it to 50G, and we gave a shock load of 50G and see the reliability of the battery pack survived absolutely. And then we said 900 degrees, put 6 liters of gasoline and put the flame, and then bring the battery pack and hold it for at least 3 minutes. This is the video, the test we did multiple times. It has 128 cells. Each cell carries about 0.62 kilowatt hour energy, totaling to 79 kilowatt hour energy in it. It's a fully charged battery, and it is undergoing the thermal test. In villages, if you want to prove to the God that you love it, you just walk over the fire after having after you observe the fasting for 8 days. And this battery does it. You want me to prove me, and that's how it has come out after 3 hours. So fire, water, vibration. Don't worry, this is electric origin. So we did you may remember that I put the battery pack onto the water, but well, what happens to the entire vehicle goes into the water. I wanted to have the relay be done directly, but because of the weather conditions, I'm not able to link. But so what we did, we recorded it. We started about 11 o'clock. We recorded it, and I'm asking for the video to be played. Can you play the video, please? And then the remaining you will see it tomorrow. The rest we will show it tomorrow. Then comes the life. Once you've proven the reliability, then comes the life. You look at the LF battery pack. After 2000 cycles of charging and discharging load, I lose 10% of its capacity compared to the NMC, which goes down to 75. So we give lifetime warranty. We are not discussing about warranty, we give lifetime warranty. Then you ask me about performance. Okay, this is all about battery, but what do you do about the performance? We have 210 kilowatt, and that gives an absolute performance. What you see is 6.8 in 0 to 100. The white one is the ICE, and the struggles that you see is the gear change, whether it is automatic or manual. But in the electric, you see, like Rahul and Riya said, that it's very linear and very, very fast, and that's what you see it here. And we are not beating the worlds, but we are in the middle. 2 we are beating, and 2 we are not beating. I guess that's okay with you. May I ask the team to put the Inglo video which summarizes all that what we said.
Welcome to InGlow, the Mahindra Electric Origin architecture. InGlow is a whole new mindset, the formidable backbone of our e-SUVs. Built on a flat, skateboard-style design, no central tunnel, just a wide open floor. A low center of gravity ensures incredible handling with intelligent suspension that adjusts faster than the blink of an eye. A battery delivering jaw-dropping efficiency and super fast charging. Uncompromising power. Delivering more thrills per kilometer in silence. So you can provide the soundtrack. This is more than just an electric SUV architecture. All built and engineered to the world's highest safety standards. No matter the weather and road conditions, InGlow is ready to protect drivers and passengers. A platform built for unparalleled performance, safety and comfort. Designed with few moving parts, leaving plenty of room for people and luggage. InGlow adapts from the athletic B6E to the elegant XEV9E. Unplugged, untamed, unmissable. InGlow. Unlimit India.
Trust InGlow, it unlimits India. Maya. What's Maya? It's inspired from our Sanskrit. It's magical, it's very powerful, and it does all the things in the cabin that we will explain as we go forward. Is our intelligence, Mahindra's AI architecture, intelligence architecture. As you know, we wanted to set new benchmarks in the field of the experience. Wow through SAW, the software on wheels. Basically, we need a drive assist technologies, the HD streaming multi-displays. We have more than 3 displays. We have close to 6 displays. Advanced neural engine, which you can anticipate you can watch your eyeballs, watch your face, and take actions. You need an engine for that. You need a connected car technology, and you needed an audio system, lighting system, and monitoring system. And you needed, above all, cyber security that nobody can breach into this vehicle. And this architecture completely involved a different way of doing things, what we called as software-defined vehicle. We bring in the hardware platform and its software, then we build the middleware separately, and then car operating system, and then we install the Mahindra stack, and then we install all the apps, applications. So we have close to more than 30 apps installed in the car that you will experience it. But the of it, I can keep changing the app without affecting the platform software or the middleware or the car operating system. We have brought first time AutoSAR architecture that allows me to do this. Nowhere in Indian cars, this picture you will see it. Enabling me OTA or photo, what you call it as, any software in any of these applications